Attention passionate Cleveland, BROWNS. Latest news, something big is happening in the AFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Cleveland Browns' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Cleveland Browns fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Cleveland, BROWNS. Let's get to the news. The Cleveland Browns faced a tough, heart-wrenching loss at home last week, falling 23-20 to the Buffalo Bills in a game that had fans on the edge of their seats until the very end. It was a game filled with ups and downs, moments of brilliance, and some tough setbacks, notably the injury to one of their rising stars, Quinshon Judkins, which could have ripple effects on the team's future. Browns fans are no strangers to adversity, but this one hits hard because Judkins has been such a vital part of the rushing attack this season. His injury, a dislocated ankle and fractured fibula, casts a shadow over the team's running game and raises questions about how Cleveland is going to adjust moving forward. This game was a microcosm of the ups and downs of Browns football this season. On one hand, the team showed incredible fight, resilience, and the never-give-up attitude that Browns fans are so proud of. On the other, there were moments where execution and consistency faltered, especially in critical situations. Head coach Kevin Stefanski summed it up perfectly after the game, calling it frustrating, because despite their efforts and fighting spirit, they couldn't close out against a solid Bills team. Browns fans know that this team has the talent and grit to be a playoff contender, but these close losses are testing their resolve and resilience. Now, let's dig into what happened on the field, starting with the injury that might have the biggest impact, Quinshon Judkins. The young running back has been a standout for Cleveland all season, leading the rushing attack with 827 yards and 7 touchdowns. His longest run of the year was a 46-yarder, and his ability to break off big plays has been a spark for this Browns offense. Judkins was injured late in the second quarter, tackled on a play that looked innocuous at the time, but turned out to be devastating. The cart coming onto the field and the grim look on his face, as he was helped off the field, confirmed that this was a serious injury. Judkins finished the game with 8 carries for 22 yards and 5 receptions for 29 yards, a modest stat line, but his presence on the field was a game-changer for Cleveland's offense. Stefanski was quick to express his disappointment but also his confidence in Judkins' ability to bounce back. Obviously very disappointed for the young man, he will bounce back, the coach said. I have zero doubt about that with him, but you never want to see that happen to any of our guys. He'll be back in no time, I know that. Browns fans know that Judkins' injury is a blow, but they also trust that this team's depth and the fight of the young players will see them through. With Jerome Ford on injured reserve and Dylan Sampson battling a hand injury, Cleveland had to rely on other backs like Raheem Sanders, Travion Williams, and Malachi Corley to carry the load. Raheem Sanders stepped up in a big way, rushing 11 times for 42 yards, while Corley added 30 yards on just 3 carries. These guys have been working hard all season, earning their spot through practice and trust from the coaching staff. Stefanski made it clear. They are guys that we trust. Whoever is in there, we trust them. They are with us every day in meetings and practice. Sometimes you don't get those opportunities, but you're on the team because we trust you. So not surprised to see those guys come through. Travion ran really hard, and Rocket Myles Garrett played with that same physicality we expect from our defense. Speaking of the defense, the Browns faced a significant challenge stopping the Bills' strong rushing attack. Buffalo came into the game with an impressive league-leading average of 158, 9 rushing yards per game, and they didn't hold back. James Cook was a force, rushing 16 times for 117 yards, with a long 44-yard touchdown run in the first quarter, an explosive play that set the tone early. The Bills' offensive line was effective in creating lanes, and Cleveland's run defense, which has struggled at times this season, was put to the test. Although they managed to tighten up in the second half, holding Buffalo to just 31 yards on the ground after halftime, the damage had already been done. Myles Garrett and the Browns' defensive front responded with grit and determination. Garrett, as always, was a disruptive force, applying pressure and trying to contain Cook and the Bills' rushing attack. We got more physical and tackled better, Garrett said afterward. Guys were making plays and we were in the right spots. That's what good run defense is all about, being disciplined and wanting it more. We know our run defense needs to improve, but I'm proud of how we fought in that second half. Cleveland's defense also had to contend with Buffalo's aerial attack led by their quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. The rookie signal caller showed poise and athleticism, completing 20 of 29 passes for 157 yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 interceptions. Sanders displayed a lot of promise, making some impressive scrambles, one of which gained 10 yards that kept the Browns' defense honest. His ability to extend plays and find open receivers kept Cleveland on its toes all game. The Browns' secondary with Ronnie Hickman Jr. Miles Harden and others fought hard to limit the big plays and create turnovers, but Sanders' mobility and the Bills' creative play calling made it a tough challenge. Offensively, Cleveland showed flashes of their potential, especially on their opening drive. They moved the ball efficiently, mixing run and pass, and capped it with a 13-yard touchdown pass from Sanders to Harold Fannin Jr. The team's early success was built on smart play calling and execution, especially on first and second down, which kept them out of third and long situations. As Stefanski mentioned, our execution on those early downs was a big part of our success. That allowed us to stay balanced and stay ahead of the chains. The run game was a key factor in their offensive strategy, finishing with 160 yards on the ground. Jerome Ford, Dylan Sampson, and the other backs worked tirelessly behind an offensive line that was determined to create space. Joel Bitonio and Luke Whippler did a good job anchoring the line, and Sanders' ability to scramble and extend plays kept the defense on their heels. Cleveland also found success in the red zone, scoring 2 touchdowns, one in the first quarter and another in the third, showing their ability to finish drives when it mattered most. But as with many close games, it came down to execution in the final moments. With just under 4 minutes left and trailing by 3, the Browns had a chance to go for the win. Sanders connected with Corley on an 11-yard pass, but then things took a turn. Sanders was sacked on the next play, losing 8 yards, and a costly intentional grounding penalty pushed them back even further. Facing a 3rd and 32 situation, Sanders looked deep for Jerry Jeudy, but the pass fell incomplete, forcing Cleveland to punt and leaving the game in the Bills' hands. Sanders finished the game completing 20 of 29 passes for 157 yards and 1 touchdown, along with 2 picks, but his effort and fight were evident. Stefanski praised him. He battled like he always does. I thought he made some unbelievable plays with his feet today, which we knew he could do. There's always room to grow for a young guy, but I'm proud of how he fought. Cleveland's young quarterback has shown resilience all season, and even in defeat, his leadership and athleticism give the Browns hope for the future. Looking ahead, the Browns know they have areas to improve. Their run defense must tighten up to contain teams like Buffalo, who are among the best at running the ball. Their offensive line needs to continue developing chemistry and execution, especially in high-pressure situations. And of course, staying healthy is paramount. Losing Judkins was a blow, but the team's depth and the fighting spirit of the roster have kept them competitive. Fans should be optimistic. This team has shown it can hang with the best and fight until the final whistle. The season isn't over yet, and Cleveland still has a shot to make noise in the playoffs if they can correct some of these issues and get healthier. The coaching staff remains optimistic, emphasizing the need to learn from every game and keep building on the positives. The young players like Shedeur Sanders and Malachi Corley are gaining experience, and the veterans like Myles Garrett are setting the tone on defense. The Browns have a talented roster, and with a little more consistency and a bit of luck, they could be on their way to a deep playoff run. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Cleveland Browns news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking further into the season, Browns fans are already thinking about how this team can bounce back and what adjustments might be needed for the playoffs. The coaching staff has emphasized resilience and learning from setbacks, and the players are taking that message to heart. The improvements in tackling and run stopping, especially after halftime, show that Cleveland is capable of making the necessary adjustments when it counts. The offensive scheme is evolving, and Sanders' development as a young quarterback is evident. His ability to scramble and extend plays gives the team a much-needed dynamic threat that defenses will have to account for in the games ahead. The injury to Judkins is a setback, but it also opens the door for other backs to step up and make their mark. Travian Williams has been a reliable player all season, and the coaching staff has faith that whoever is in the backfield can deliver when called upon. It's the Browns' depth, resilience, and fighting spirit that make this team special. They've faced adversity before, and they know that setbacks are just opportunities to grow stronger. In the coming weeks, fans will be watching closely to see how the coaching staff adjusts their game plan, how the young players develop under pressure, and how the team rallies around the challenge of overcoming injuries and tough opponents. Cleveland's defense, led by Myles Garrett, will need to maintain that high level of physicality and discipline to shut down the best offenses. On offense, Sanders' leadership and growth will be critical, especially in clutch moments. The team's special teams units have also been improving, and that could prove vital in close games down the stretch. The AFC North remains fiercely competitive, and every game counts. The Browns are still in the mix, but they'll need to bring their best each week. No excuses, no shortcuts. This season has shown that Cleveland has the talent and heart to compete with anyone. They just need to tighten up a few areas, stay healthy, and keep fighting. Browns fans, your team is resilient, talented, and determined. The journey isn't over, and the best is yet to come. And now, Cleveland Browns fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Cleveland Browns. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Cleveland Browns news.